So, Dr. Gerry, I have a quick question for you. Four of them. First one, what does CTE do to the brain?
Well, before I do that, I want to introduce my little buddy here. This is Jameson the Third. I should say Jameson Fishkin the Third, and he's my partner in crime. And so, hey, smile! You're on camera. Say hello to everybody. Everybody wants to meet you, and we're going to have more shows with Jamie down the road. Okay, what does CTE do to the brain? CTE causes erosions or spots to occur in the brain that affect connectivity with certain areas. And specifically, those areas have to do, as I said earlier, with concentration, memory, managing emotion, including mood swings, depression, short-term memory, and problems with language, aggression, and impulsivity. This is all prefrontal lobe effects. And we know that the prefrontal cortex has to do with judgment, planning, and mood regulation. And Aaron had significant damage to the prefrontal cortex. And we believe that had a major effect. Those lesions, as you can see when you look at the video, were huge. And the scientists at the Boston University Medical Center said they had never seen lesions like that, and especially in such a young man.
Do you think Aaron Hernandez experienced self-shame or toxic shame because of his sexuality?
Oh, I absolutely believe that Aaron Hernandez suffered from toxic shame. Remember, I wrote the book on it. In fact, and we'll flash this up on the screen, The Science of Shame and Its Treatment. I absolutely believe that his symptoms and his issues, his homosexuality, which really pre-existed any of the symptoms of CTE, were there. He knew he was gay at a very early age and was having a lot of sex with boys. And it's not noted that he had sex at all with young girls. So that was it. I believe that he had to hide. I believe that because of his relationship with his horribly abusive father, and the lack of bonding and softness with his mother caused him to go into a very deep, dark place where he lived for a really long time. It was a very lonely place. When you look at a video of Aaron or listen to any recordings, his affect was extremely blunted. And as DJ, his brother, said, at his father's wake, his father's funeral, he showed no emotion whatsoever. And so, yeah, I think that his shame was so intense that he couldn't relate to anyone, he couldn't share it. And what he did do was overcompensate. He was the football player by day and the gangster at night. And he hung out with a really nasty group of folks at night. They were true killers. They were all sociopaths. But that's where he found his safety.
You brought up the point that he hung out with the wrong crowd. Do you think constantly being around toxic masculinity created enhanced anger?
I think his anger began when he was very young, watching his father beat up his mother. It was really a very, very traumatic household. He had been around men for a really long time. I mean, boys in the locker room. I don't think it was necessarily being around guys in that aggressive place that caused his situation. I think it was, if anything, it was the result of how he was raised, and the anger that he felt from watching his mother be abused, and then his mother really goading the father on. So Aaron is watching this stuff. He's watching his mother goat the father and creating this nightmare of a house. And can you imagine a kid coming home from high school and doing his studies. Father comes home drunk from the bar, beats mom up, kicks the dog, screams at the kid. Aaron's brother, by the way, was a couple of years older and away at college. So he didn't really, Aaron had nobody to share this misery at home with.
How can others like Aaron Hernandez who experience self-shame get help?
Great question. How can others like Aaron who are experiencing toxic shame? Well, in my book, toxic shame has to do with drugs and drug addiction and low self-worth, extremely low self-worth, and horrible and negative self-talk. And how can others get help? There are many therapists out there who can deal with toxic shame. You could read my book, for one. Find therapists in your community who work with shame and work with compassion. Compassion-based therapies are extremely important in dealing with toxic shame. So absolutely, there are many folks who have symptoms like this and are screaming for help. I have calls daily and emails from all over the world of people who have read my book and want to find a therapist to help them deal with this. There are therapists out there, and there are many of them who work with what we call compassion-based therapy. And I think that's where you have to go, because compassion has to start with ourself. And in my book, compassion is attunement and empathy. If we don't have if we're not attuned to ourselves and we don't have empathy for ourselves, we're lost, because we can't. You can't fake it. You can't fake attunement and you can't fake empathy, which means you can't fake compassion. So compassion is that thing that guides us through life, and especially when we're having crises and traumas, we have to find that soft place inside of us that says we're going to be okay, and we do the self-soothing part and deal with our toxic and chronic self-talk, our negative self-talk. Again, if you're having issues with this, why don't you start by reading my book, The Science of Shame and Its Treatment? And if push comes to shove, you can reach me at Dr. Gerry, and that's DrGerry at drgeraldfishkin.com. We're flashing it on the screen again. Please don't hesitate contacting me if you're in crisis or in trauma and you need some help. Again, it's been my pleasure to be here with you. I can't tell you how important it is that we deal with these issues, because there's nothing more important than having a healthy, quiet life. And remember, it's all about time and energy. And when we spend our time and our energy trying to control what's going on in our head and the misery we're experiencing, we should do something about that, because life is precious. And again, I'm Dr. Gerry Fishkin, wishing you all the best. I look forward to seeing you again on my show, The Dr. Gerry Fishkin Show, right here on Therapy Cable. Take care.